Putting together an efficient passing game in Madden can sometimes feel like solving algebra, where 11 defenders seem like 100. So with this video, I'm going to be going over with you how to avoid common mistakes gamers make passing the ball and understand how to beat defenses in Madden 25. I'm Chris from Sports Gamers Online, and alright, let's get it. To improve your efficiency in passing towards the middle of the field, it's essential to understand the depth of the linebackers. As soon as you snap the ball, visualize an imaginary line across the linebackers on the field. This will help you gauge their depth and assess the space available in front of them and behind them. By observing whether they are dropping back quickly or moving slowly, you can better determine which areas are open for your passes. Doing this will help you find the open spots more efficiently and faster to make better decisions under pressure. When throwing a pass down the middle against zone coverage, you're probably going to need to use the high pass to avoid lurking linebackers trying to pick you off. So to perform a high pass, hold L1 or LB on your controller while throwing. Doing this lets you sail the ball over any defender's head, giving your receiver and only your receiver a shot at the ball. You can either tap the receiver's button for a lob high pass or opt for a more likely bullet high pass to get the ball to them quickly. And to secure the pass, hold Y or triangle to perform an aggressive catch, ensuring your receiver goes up and grabs the ball. While the high pass can be useful, it's best to avoid using it against tight man coverage, as defenders are already sticking close to their assigned receiver. In this situation, attempting a high pass can be risky, giving defenders time to recover and break up the pass. Now in your game settings, start by navigating to passing mechanics and then select pass lead increase. This option allows you to control how far your free-form passing can extend beyond the passing circle by holding the left trigger while leading your pass in the direction you choose. You have 4 settings to choose from: none, small, medium, and large. Free-form passing lets you throw the ball outside the standard passing circle, giving your receiver a chance to catch it in a more varied location if executed correctly. Additionally, you can adjust the speed at which the pass reaches the receiver on a scale of 1 to 20. If you have the setting set to none, the speed adjustment won't make a difference. With the setting on small, you've already limited how far the target can move regardless of how high you set the speed. To illustrate the impact, if you set the pass lead to large and the speed to 20, it may not be practical in the actual game due to how fast and off target your throws can become very quickly. I try to avoid anything past medium and above 10, for instance. You see here on these 3 corner routes, I freeform passed it down, so I'm aiming to pass in front of the receiver. So once I click on a control, I come back to the ball bait to give myself more room towards the sidelines to possession catch it. Otherwise, they will be up against the sidelines and might catch it out of bounds. And another popular freeform pass is running for verts. You can aim down to basically stop the slot receiver to sit in between the zones. Some of the best times to attack deep are on second or third and short situations. Think from your opponent's point of view. They're focused now on trying to make sure you don't get that 1 or 2 yards, so they may do something crazy or overly aggressive, leaving a big play there for the taking down the field because they don't think you're going to risk it. You just have to be okay risking getting hit and not getting it, which is why second and short I would say is the best time to do so, because you have that extra down if you don't like going for it on fourth. One way to quickly improve your passing game is by utilizing triangle reads. It's called that because of the 3 routes you designed form a triangle if you pause the screen. Triangle reads are effective because they can create openings in different spots against zone coverages and are difficult for a user defender to defend, even in man. By stretching the defenders side to side and up and down, you almost guarantee that somebody will break free. Triangle reads put the defense in a tough spot after the snap. Pass leading lets you direct the pass you're throwing to in different spots within the receiver's radius. Depending on where you aim, you can make the receiver slow down and protect themselves from a potential hit stick, or place the ball in a spot only they can reach. This approach helps avoid situations where a regular pass might cause the receiver to fly right by the defender, making it easy for the safety or corner to intercept the ball, instead of you pass leading and helping to adjust their path. When you press the receiver's icon to pass them the ball, quickly aim the left stick in the direction you want the pass to go. Let's use a regular dig route by A.J. Brown for example. By bullet passing to him and aiming the left stick behind him, you can make the receiver slow down and shield his body from the cornerback as he adjusts to your throw. This also helps if he's moving into heavy traffic. A pass lead behind him allows him to slow down and catch the ball. Additionally, holding A or X if you're on PlayStation causes him to perform a possession catch on the behind pass, further protecting himself. When you pass lead ahead of the receiver and away from the cornerback, you allow the receiver to run in front of them and hopefully create separation with their speed. If they're fast, there's a good chance they can create space here. Aiming down helps the receiver come back to the ball, making it easier to secure the catch, which is especially useful on key third downs. If you have a receiver who excels at breaking tackles or making sharp cuts and weaving through traffic, pass leading away from the cornerback will help you make the most of that skill set. This is what I love about pass leading. Like Mark Andrews is heading for the back of the end zone, but I pass lead it down so he's forced to come back to me and shield himself from the cornerback, who probably would have at least deflected the ball if I tried to aim it to the back of the end zone. Now, if your opponent is usering against the route that you want to throw to, oftentimes, tell me if I'm wrong, you lock on and go, okay, I'm about to get him with this, and you end up throwing a pick. If you see your opponent locked onto a potential receiver you want to throw to, move on. These are different from the throws where you legit didn't see the defender coming. Their user ability oftentimes will win out on you trying to show them up. To improve your ability to quickly cycle through your passing options, you want to shift your focus from staring down individual defenders to instead focus in on open areas of the field where your receiver are designed to run into. So basically stare at grass. Instead of getting caught up in where the defenders are, concentrate on where they aren't. As soon as you see a defender's color in that given space, move on to your next read, and then the next until you find an open target. Now to do this, you have to be very familiar with your passing play, so I would suggest getting into practice mode so you know where everybody is supposed to go. A common mistake to avoid is locking in on your receiver as soon as they run their route. When you focus too much on the receiver, you lose sight of the defenders around them, which can lead to poor throws or even interceptions. By focusing in on the areas your route should come open into, you can speed up your decision making and avoid hesitating in the pocket, unsure of whether they're open or not. An underrated skill to take your passing to the next level is further manipulating the throw by clicking onto the receiver you're throwing to and positioning them in spots to best catch the ball. You're usually going to want to aim to get in front of the passing reticle so you can cut it off from defenders and try to get yards after the catch if possible. Something that can ruin your play even if you make the best read is throwing the wrong type of pass to your receiver. So you must know when to throw with different speeds and having different arcs on the ball. Now this is assuming you have placement and accuracy passing type enabled. So when you begin to throw, there are 3 sections displayed inside a meter above your receiver. The first part, if you land it, will trigger a lob pass, which you achieve by simply tapping the receiver's button. This helps you execute deep balls for the receiver to run under and outrun defenders in other areas of the field. Although on deep passes, this can work against you if the receiver you're targeting is already so far down the field, all you're doing at that point is letting the defender recover. Easy to remember tip is if you see the receiver deep late, you're better off not lobbing it to them. The next section of the meter is for touch passes. These are harder to achieve because of the short window you had to stop the meter in it to throw these. So I would suggest aim for a lob and hold it a smidge half second longer to throw this. They're that close together. The purpose of this pass is to help you drop the ball over linebackers and in front of safeties. And the last section is for bullet passes. You have to be careful here as you want to release the bullet pass right before the end of the meter, as there's a small section you must hit to get perfect accuracy. A bullet pass gets to the receiver faster but sacrifices arc, so never try to throw over a defender's head with a bullet pass without pass leading it out of the defender's range. There are 4 different types of catches you can make in Madden 25. The first one is the run after the catch, which you perform by holding the square button on PlayStation or X on Xbox. This lets you continue to run after catching the ball to increase your chance of not getting tackled by the closest defender to you, if there is space in front of you. The next is the possession catch, which you want to heavily utilize to prevent your receiver from getting hit stick or to keep them in bounds. You execute this by holding the X button on PlayStation or A on Xbox. On third down, do not be shy about possession catching everything to keep the chains moving. Next is the aggressive catch, which you perform by pressing the triangle button on PlayStation or Y on Xbox. This has your player jump in the air to snatch the ball. Taller receivers excel more at these than smaller ones when the defender is close to them. And lastly is the flashy catch, which you perform by holding L1 or LB on your controller, and your receiver will go up for a flashy catch attempt, oftentimes one-handed, to secure the ball. You want to give yourself the best chance of completing each passing play. If you select a play with a deeper route as the primary route, consider keeping a running back or tight end in to block for you. On the other hand, if you're aiming for a quick passing play, you can have all 5 of your receivers run routes. It's important for your strategy to make sense. Sending out 5 deep routes puts stress on the defense, but it also leaves you more vulnerable to pass rushers and or blitzes. Be aware of the tendencies you're showing your opponent. On 3rd and 5 against off coverage, throwing that smart route just once can prompt your opponent to adjust their defense accordingly, expecting you to use it again. Similarly, if you quickly pass to an uncovered slot receiver, they'll take note of how fast you passed it and might bait you the next time, hoping you'll throw it even quicker without looking. Treat every snap as unique and respect the fact that your opponent is making adjustments to you in real time. On a regular pass and play, never make your running back your first read unless you see him wide open out of the corner of your eye. Too many things can go wrong, and you can easily be baited into making a bad pass if the defender notices you staring down your 5-yard out route to the back too often. Taking advantage of short passes and focusing on gaining yards after the catch can be a highly effective strategy, especially considering how some players struggle with tackling. Consistently hitting these short gains can frustrate your opponent, leading them to over-adjust their defense. Short passes are particularly useful against players who like to control their middle linebacker. By repeatedly throwing short, you can bait them into dropping back too far, or can use the threat of the short pass to hold them in place and then throw it right behind them for a bigger gain. However, you don't want to become Mr. Checkdown because you're afraid of throwing deep, as that makes you predictable. If your opponent catches on to your preferences for short passes, they might start sitting on those routes, which could lead to a tough game for you. It's crucial to show that you can take the short stuff while still being able to throw deep when the opportunity arises. So, alright, sports gamers, do you agree with the list? It is not what's a passing tip that once you discover it helped you immensely in Madden 25. Let us know in the comments down below. And stay tuned here at Sports Gamers Online for more Madden 25 content. And once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. Alright, people, I'm Chris. Thank you all for watching, and be good, y'all.